Good to have you join us on Kaftan News at 7.
I'm living in up to 5%. A young people repurpose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on Kaftan TV News at 7.
We found that the general was not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at 9
Kaftan TV News. While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with Kaftan TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on Kaftan News at 7.
I'm living in up to 5%. A young people repurpose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on Kaftan TV News at 7.
We found that the general was not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at 9
Kaftan TV News. While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with Kaftan TV 7 p.m. News.
Good to have you join us on Kaftan News at 7.
I'm living in up to 5%. A young people repurpose the Harmony Symphony.
It's good to have you join us on Kaftan TV News at 7.
We found that the general was not actually sufficient.
National, foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching. Join us again at 9
Kaftan TV News.
Thank you so much for joining us on Joy Asonye Live this beautiful evening. Today it promises to be just as interesting, especially because of our topic. We are moving to KANO, where the governorship election petition tribunal earlier sacked Governor ABBA YUSUF and declared the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Nasiru GAWUNA, winner of the 18th March governorship poll. Well, a lot of reactions have started following that news, and my guest in the studio will be telling me how he finds the judiciary having to determine our election result and how he finds the news altogether. It has been mixed feelings all the way. What does this say for our elections moving forward, especially as we have off-cycle elections coming on very soon on the 11th of November. My guest, Dr. Barry Avotu Johnson I, convener, Vote Must Count International Initiative. Thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, Nigeria.
So it's a pleasure, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
We'll be back after this very short break to get into this story. If you have not heard, well, you're hearing it here. You're hearing it here first, rather. That the tribunal has sacked the NNPP's governor, ABBA YUSUF. We'll be right back after this short break. Welcome back from that break. Let's just go straight to the issue. First of all, how did you find that? Did you find it a bit interesting that, first of all, the judgment was transmitted virtually via Zoom?
That's right.
A teleconference platform. Was that a bit weird for you?
It's not where we're expecting that already, because we, for the presidential appeal, Court of Appeal judgment of Peter Obi versus Atiku and the rest, we expected that they will not even come at all. And we were shocked that they came prepared and they read it. But this time around, you see, is in the case of KANO. KANO is a state that is very, very important when it comes to the politics of Nigeria. And it is a clear manifestation that if you don't win KANO, you cannot win Nigeria. KANO is in a capacity where it's a must-win for anybody who becomes president of Nigeria, just like when we talk about Lagos. So KANO plays a very, very frontline role in the issue of, the standardization of voters and the political style, the lifestyle of voting when it comes to the formula of winning a presidential election in Nigeria. So you see, who becomes the KANO state governor is one of the most important things when you talk about the politics of the Northwest. The Northwest zone, the Kaduna state governor, the Kano state governor. Those two states play a major role, and Kano leads when it comes to politics in the north. That is where they say, in the Hausa language, they say to Kanawa Sunzu, that it means that the Kano state owners have come, and they have really come. How can you give judgment on Zoom when you are alive? It means that that judgment has a little pomade of subversion.
Why is that? Because for security reasons.
Yes,
I'm sure it's security
yes,
reasons.
So the question remains
prior to this judgment in all the states, even the presidential, we've been hearing threats to these judges. It almost seems like wherever the judge is turned, it's going to affect some persons who
because of the money rain.
Maybe, but I mean,
because of the money rain in court,
have evidence.
We have the evidence of the body language of these people who are called judges.
Body language is no evidence.
It's an evidence.
I can't base this conversation on body language.
Don't worry, madam. Don't worry.
I can understand why any judge would say, or the judges rather would say, you know what, let's deliver this via Zoom. So, I mean, the Constitution did not particularly, before this interview, I actually asked a lawyer friend of mine what it meant to have such a virtual judgment, and I was surprised that he said that the Constitution did not really state it categorically, because I mean virtual judgments are now a trend. For
us, it's a new development.
It's a new development
that we don't mind. What we want to mind in the
let me just quickly read an excerpt from what a veteran, I mean a law, what they call the learned person shared with me. He says the law is dynamic and as such needs to grow to meet global trends.
Yes.
Though the Constitution does not specifically provide for a virtual court hearing, in as much as the same Constitution empowers the head of court to allow virtual hearings. Accordingly, the President of the Court of Appeal, who is vested with the responsibility to make rules of practice and procedures for election tribunals, has made practice directions that allow the use of virtual hearings or Zoom to conduct the proceedings of the tribunal. So this is not necessarily going against the Constitution.
Yes,
but it's weird for some of us.
Because you are new. It's a new trend for us. It's a new trend, and it's not a bad one at that. What is bad about it is the judgment.
Yes, but does it speak to question where the judiciary is perceived by people? Because it's unfortunate. Like I said earlier, there were several threats that followed it. I condemned it completely, because that's an institution that I hold very sacred.
That's right.
I reverence that institution. I expect Nigerians too. But how can we ensure that moving forward we don't have such threats that will make the judges, if indeed it is because of security issues, having to hide behind the screen?
When the judges do the needful, nobody is going to threaten you. Who will threaten you when you are scoring perfect goals? Who will threaten you when you are scoring the goal that the country needs? These judges are batting in the pool of bribery and corruption.
And you know that how? Like I said earlier,
everybody knows that. Everybody knows that in Nigeria they have their agents scattered all over the places. Don't worry, after these judges give their judgment, don't worry, we are going to blow up a lot of escapades of agencies, agents put on ground by judges in Nigeria.
Agents?
Yes.
That's a
special agents that help them negotiate the criminality in the judiciary that we've talked about. You yourself, you know, the world knows that the judiciary of Nigeria is in comatose. For us, judicial education in Nigeria is suspended because of the criminality we have seen so far. A lot of people win election in Nigeria, and your opponent goes to court, and the judge expects you to give something, and when you are not giving anything, they give up the case. And when they give up the case, they want you to go to the Supreme Court, where you still bring that money at the end of the day. We know a lot of people who have paid money. We know a lot of people who are expected to give money for their judgment not to be subverted. But you see, that is a situation where we have to sit down and overhaul our judicial system.
And our
system needs overhaul.
Before we get to this overhauling and the recommendations you would give for these reforms you are suggesting,
yes,
let's go to this corruption you're talking about. Especially, are you talking about this election tribunal?
Our judges are corrupt. You
and
know
you have
that
evidence.
The world knows that the judges in Nigeria are corrupt. They are subverters of judgment. We saw that in the Court of Appeal against Peter Obi, Atiku, and Asiwaju, and the APC and INEC. We saw that, even with evidence, glaring evidence, overwhelming evidence that so showed itself. Peter Obi won an election that was snatched, and we saw the evidence.
You saw the evidence.
We saw the evidence. We voted. We saw it.
We have it. We
even have this evidence on ground.
We had a 12-hour interpretation of this before the judge, the proclamation.
Yes.
It did not suffice for you.
Let me tell you, 85.5% of the judgment given at the Court of Appeal against
85.5.
Yes, against Peter with 85. Yes, 85% of the capacity of the judgment given at that court is alien to the laws of Nigeria.
Alien.
Yes.
It did not support.
It did not marry because the Electoral Act says this, and the judges are giving judgment based on their own understanding. Individualistic understanding have nothing to do with it. But you see, one good thing I want to say to the Nigerians and to the world is that we just found out that we will not destroy Nigeria because we didn't win election.
Because that's how
we will not destroy Nigeria because someone who we have sympathy for didn't win election. But that does not mean that this administration should continue to push Nigerians to the wall.
But would you agree that it seems like from every divide, you
yes.
politicians, if it doesn't go your way, then it is the highway? Because it seems like you've done an election, INEC, you challenge the method at which INEC organized that election.
That's right.
Okay, you go to court, first of all, having said all you did about INEC, you go to court, you still fail in the Court of Appeal. The judges are now the problem. It was INEC at first, and now it is the judges.
Remember that the politics of Nigeria is a cartel dealing. It's just like drug peddling. They have their people on ground, on the streets, in the airport, even in the highest places of government.
From both sides of the divide.
Yes. So practically now, someone who rigged the election should use a political party, should use the judges when it comes to the subversion of cases to be delivered by the judges, and should also use the police. That's in the security perspective, which we saw in the 2023 presidential election. So the KANO case is a charade. The KANO case, the KANO judgment is a shame and is a show of disgrace to the judiciary of Nigeria. it is a clear manifestation that that man called Musa Rabiu Kwankwaso, with due respect to every other person, was the political owner of KANO. We saw the elections, we saw the campaigns, we saw the voting, and we saw the results.
You didn't challenge the NNPP's win in KANO?
NNPP won KANO. It's a clear manifestation. The whole world saw it.
No, I would have sworn that you...
NNPC won KANO, and the world saw it. So why do you have to now want to take KANO by force?
Isn't KANO one of the states you challenged as having, like you said, had your vote?
Peter Obi did not win KANO. He only got 25% of votes.
Right.
But Atiku did not win KANO because he only got 25% of vote. But Kwankwaso is a man the world knows. He is the political grandmaster of KANO. Even the governor who just left, Rabiu, and what's his name, Ganduje, who is now the unfortunate national chairman of APC.
I'm not sure why it's
Gandola, we call him Gandola. That man is a political student of Kwankwaso.
Students can overthrow the
master. A student cannot overthrow a magician who understands his act. You don't know who Kwankwaso is. The whole world knows Kwankwaso is the knocking point for any electoral victory in KANO, except he does not want it. He has been governor 2 times, so practically he has everything.
Tough to knock down an incumbent.
Madam, APC just wants to take KANO by hook or by crook, and that might put Nigeria burning, which is wrong. We already have a heat up in our polity. The government of today needs to understand that KANO is not a property of the APC, except they want KANO to be on fire. And you know one thing? It is dangerous to put KANO on fire, because KANO can be the flame maker to light up Nigeria coming from the north, which we must always disagree.
Are you inciting?
Because I know KANO.
Because
if KANO is on fire, the Nigerian north is on fire, and it can spring into other places. So we are warning, we are looking at government to make sure that they go away from that decision. To take KANO is not going to be easy. If they want to take KANO, let them not take KANO from the courts. Let them wait until 2027 and do good government, good politics, and take KANO in peace. Because if KANO gets broken, it will affect Kaduna, and from Kaduna to Abuja, and from Abuja to Benin to Lagos, and Nigeria will which we don't want.
I will not allow you.
We don't want that.
It seems like you are the one inciting.
No, so I am not inciting. I'm telling you what the decision. I'm telling you what the decision.
Indigents are happy.
Did you see the video? How can they be happy when the rampage is all over the place? Did you see the video of the Kwankwasia people taking over the streets? We are talking about close to 1 million people on the street already.
But you also saw those who are celebrating.
How many people are celebrating? Can you calculate 10 people celebrating for a criminal arrangement called the APC in KANO, and almost 1 million people peaceful? Right now, as I'm talking to you, the Kwankwasia people in KANO are peaceful. They are protesting already, and we are praying that that protest does not go beyond whatever. Thank God it's not even the Supreme Court yet. It's just Court of Appeal. So practically we are telling Nigerians, and we are telling the government, those who think they have the monopoly to arrest people and to cause confusion in government, they should start looking at the issues of bringing time peace for KANO. Because right now, that judgment is subverted, the world knows, and can cause chaos. And the security agency have to move to KANO now to make sure KANO remains calm.
Okay.
Because if KANO escalates, it's not going to be a thing of joke.
For context, for those who might not know what the justification that the judges give, that's the tribunal judges gave, let me quickly reel it out. Now, according to let me start from the basis that the Independent National Electoral Commission declared that the NNPP polled 19.602 votes to defeat the APC's candidate Nasiru Gawuna, who scored 890,705 votes. The NNPP candidate at the time was declared winner with a margin of 128,889 votes. However, the APC filed a petition at the tribunal challenging the result declared by the electoral body. The court deducted 165,663 votes from YUSUF as invalid, stating that the ballot papers of those invalid votes were not stamped or signed and therefore declared invalid. Would you say, if you were a judge, that indeed if there were invalid votes, however many there are, you would keep them substantial?
Who brought the invalid votes as
INEC?
INEC. Who brought the invalid votes to the court as evidence?
It must have been INEC.
It can't be INEC because INEC was the one who returned the NNPP candidate as governor-elect.
Well, they must have.
So they cannot go around.
They must have been subpoenaed.
They cannot go around and now bring a case where they participated in, for example, rigging, to now bring activities backward. So definitely it is the argument
if I am
that
challenging the outcome
yes,
of an election, I will do my due diligence, and I expect that is what the APC must have done for them to have access to these votes that are now invalid.
Madam, is a clear manifestation.
And I'm asking you,
Nigerians know that APC wants to take KANO by force for them to balance the equation that they are in Lagos and they are in KANO, the two eyebrow cities where votes are like sand for you to justify that you won the presidential elections. Look, let me tell you, Nigeria can only be peaceful when government does the right thing. What is the right thing?
Contesting the Lagos vote for Asiwaju, if that's where you're going with this.
Because Asiwaju
accepted his
because it's a systematic rigging. We know this. Do you know who Asiwaju is? Asiwaju is an expert, a political expert who has spent many years with Awolowo and many years with MKO. He understands the rigging activity of the politics of Nigeria. Give that to him. You can give that to Asiwaju. But when it comes to the reality on ground, we saw that Lagos was a no-go area. It's a no for APC when it was presidential elections. Even the governorship election, Sanwo-Olu did not win that election. But because I don't have the right to tell you because I'm not the court. But when it comes to the individualistic understanding of the politics of Nigeria, the world knows that Labour Party is the winner of the governorship election and the presidential election in Lagos. Let's leave Lagos aside. We are talking about KANO, that the world, even the witches and wizards, know that the man called Musa Rabiu Kwankwaso has the integrity and the capacity to decide who becomes governor and what becomes the outcome of any presidential election in KANO.
For context, again, we need to establish that KANO was not in the ballot for governorship. So
he was not in the ballot, but it wasn't his party that pushed the person. Did Kwankwaso approve endorsement for Kabir? He did. So they are in the same book. There's no way a Kwankwaso will win KANO for presidency and another party will win for governorship. Go and check the history of the politics of KANO and the election calendar. You will see that who wins presidency takes the governorship. So we all know that.
But you also know the dynamism of this year.
We all know that the APC is just a hungry Dracula that wants to take everything and have all. But you see, it's not possible. They are going to throw Nigeria into chaos. And we are begging them to have a second thought so that KANO can remain peaceful. Right now, the rally and the protest is peaceful. Before it goes here, please, we are calling on Asiwaju and everyone in the APC and the security agencies. Nigeria must not be put on fire. Nigeria must be peaceful. We cannot destroy our country because somebody lost an election or somebody won an election. Nigeria belongs to all of us. We must do everything possible to make sure Nigeria is standing as a country.
You have not responded to the question I asked. They are invalid votes, and I'm sure that the opposing counsel or the defendants saw.
Well, I think
these invalid votes that that were not stamped.
Joy.
So if you were a judge, what
There will
would
be
you
a
have
subpoena.
done?
There will be a subpoena for those people who were agents to prove it when I think they go to the Supreme Court.
Maybe that would happen.
Yes, that will help Nigerians to have a first-hand information on who presented the materials for the litigations.
But that's a lot of number. That's over
They have to follow.
100 and
They have to follow. That's why they are judges.
1,000.
That's why they are collecting salary.
No, what I'm saying is that for the challenging council to really show that as much as 160,000.
But Joy, do you know that if you check,
invalid.
if you have a reflection of the judgment read by the Court of Appeal against Peter Obi, with Peter Obi against those other parties, the Court of Appeal said they discharged that case, that prayer where Peter Obi presented those papers because they were too much and Peter Obi did not mention where the papers came from. So now, can't we now reflect that the same Court of Appeal in KANO should also tell Nigerians that presenting those papers that are blah should not count, just like a court that is an appeal court already. So
I think that's different.
it's not different. An election is an election because the process of voting in these two elections are the same.
It is the same.
It is the same, so it should marry. That's what we're saying. Court of Appeal says these black papers are invalid. They are non-grantor. It is not a goal.
This had no stamp.
It's not a goal. It's the same thing Peter Obi suffered. So why should they use that same yardstick to now cancel, to now remove, to now reduce the votes that Kabir got against the one that the APC people got?
What makes a document certified or official is the stamp. But if
it's the same
you're
person.
talking about a blood document.
Yes, can a blood document? Can you see it stamp on the blood document?
Okay, this argument is getting heated.
That's why I told you.
Go for a short break.
Before you go on a short break, that's why I told you that there's a subversion of the law by the judgment presented by Nigerians.
This is my penthouse. I do as it pleases me. A break we have to go to. We'll return to discuss more. This is still Joy Asonye Live. Stay with us.
While wrapping up the day, unwind with the reminiscence of the day's news from home and abroad with Kaftan TV 7 p.m. news.
Good to have you join us on Kaftan News at 7.
Nigerians are living in Africa. 5% are young people. We propose the harmony symphony.
It's good to have you join us on Kaftan TV news at 7.
What we found that the general has not actually sufficient.
National foreign news headlines. Get balanced, accurate facts on the latest news in business, politics, entertainment, sports, and more. Live from our studios.
Many thanks for watching and join us again at 9
Kaftan
p.m.
TV News.
Yes, there is news on your device, but hearing an analyst's perspective is the icing on the cake that Daily Break Africa provides. Break. Start your day with prompt analysis of the latest news, trends,
and then you see these people, they're so agile, they can
politics.
We have to go back to that regional system. That is the foundation of this country, for God's sake.
Entertainment, fashion, culinary skills,
So first, I'm going to be pouring the oil inside because I will...
Religious and cultural events amongst others on Daybreak Africa. For a rich mix of analysis on current issues, tune in daily from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on channel 480 and 124 on StarTimes.
Welcome back from that short break. Like I said earlier, we have Dr. Barry Avotu Johnson the first right here with us.
Thank you.
He is the country director, Vote Must Count International Initiative. We're talking about the tribunal sacking NNPP's ABBA YUSUF and declaring APC's candidates, GAWUNA, the winner. Like I said earlier also, a lot of reactions have followed that. However, NNPP recently have had their internal crisis. In fact, some would call it having factions now, parallel government within the party. Would you say that when you see such factions, it affects the party to this extent?
Yes, right now, if you relate every issue of the NNPP saga to the 2023 presidential election, you should just know that everything you see in the NNPP that is a problem is caused by the APC. The APC is a very, very strong machinery used in rigging election in Nigeria since 2015.
Like I said, we don't have the APC here. We don't have. I like to balance my.
You invite them. We are not afraid to have them. We invite them. We tell them.
This conversation was supposed to be civil. It wasn't one that
I am not. I am very civil. I'm telling you what we know.
But because I do not have the APC here,
you get them and invite us to speak.
I would rather you stick to the topic without accusing or alleging anything.
I'm not alleging you. Even you that you are the presenter, you have seen that this is a criminal judgment.
I do not see that. I am not trying to.
It's a criminal judgment because the world knows that Kwankwaso is the master plan of the politics of Kano.
Might be, but there's technicalities here.
What technicality presented to the judges by the Supreme Council of the APC in the center?
8,000 invalid votes, and that's what I want you to address.
In Nigeria, in the politics of this country,
exactly,
over 100 and something thousand votes.
5 votes.
Come on, please.
I'm not sure why you.
There are some kind of stories you just bring out. It looks like a cockaboo story. This is a criminal subversion against the wishes of the Nigerian people.
But
if
you follow the news, you would also allude that the NNPP actually came out at some point to say that some of the reasons why they did not do as well as they thought they would do is because the logo had an issue, and a lot of people could not vote.
Yes,
did not even know they were the ones.
They could have got more votes than they got.
Could that be some of these invalid votes that the court saw?
No, I think it's a subverted judgment against the Kano people, and we are calling on the Kano people to be calm. We are calling on Asiwaju, wherever he is across the world, to speak to the Nigerian people in Kano to be calm, because this is a danger signal for Nigeria.
Avotu Johnson,
we don't need this.
You don't seem to be addressing what I want you to go, because I want you to get to a certain place, and I want you to talk about the internal crisis of these political parties. NNPP with Kwankwaso is fairly new, and yet they have internal crisis. Do you think if they had a united front, you would see that united front battling better in the tribunal rather?
Well, it's all about politics. I want to relate the issue of in-house wrangling in political parties in Nigeria. Most especially, I want you to look at what happened in the Labour Party.
Exactly.
Did Labour Party have any issue before the election?
Yes.
Listen, before they had a presidential candidate? No. It is politics. You put the stain there. You put the wound there and you treat it with Galaman 20. The political Galaman 20 used in killing the fishes in the politics in Nigeria. It's a clear manifestation that is the same injury that has been infiltrated in the NNPP. Did Kwankwaso have any problem before he became a presidential candidate? No. Did he have any problem during the campaigns? No. Did he have any problem after the elections? No. He's having problems now because the APC is an infiltrated party. The APC wants to take the party. The APC is interested in taking over KANO. One strategy is to get the NNPP wounded by pushing some funds, bringing some promises to the people. There are allegations that are clear that Nigerians know. You don't see in our politics. You don't need to bring a video or a camera or an audio to say that. This is a clear manifestation.
Barry Johnson, I mean, you can't use this platform to promulgate unfounded statements.
But that's the fact.
That is just what you think.
Every quarter you see in the NNPP is an injection by the APC to fall the pillars that is holding the party in
Labour
KANO.
Party as well?
The same thing.
Okay, now let's talk about the
Let me ask you, Labour Party, who was APAPA before the elections? Do you know that right now as I'm speaking to you, APAPA goes with bodyguards, APAPA goes with private jets? Where did he get the private jet from?
Somehow he's
sponsor.
The Labour Party.
No, even the Labour Party national chairman does not have a private jet to move around with. But APAPA, who is one riffraff who was given opportunity to come up in national politics, is now having a private jet to gallivant across Nigeria, and you are telling us the APC is not involved in this?
Avotu Johnson, I rather you do not desist from abusing anybody.
No,
I want to also mention the popularity of Labour Party has grown exponentially.
Yes.
And if APAPA is saying that I am indeed the true national chairman,
that's right.
And like you have said, it seems to be having the largest that comes with being national chairman, it means that the Labour Party or the Obedience have recognized him and probably funding his lifestyle.
The Obedience is a group of people who busted the Labour Party into what it is today.
Right.
Using the influence of their support for the man called Peter Obi.
Exactly.
Where was Labour Party before Obi came there? Where was Labour Party before the Obedience adopted that party for the elections to vote for them? So it's the same thing. I want to ask you, where was NNPP when Kwankwaso was in PDP? Where was the NNPP when Kwankwaso became the presidential candidate? They became big. So Kwankwaso is a euphoria. It's a phenomenon. The world knows this.
Okay.
This is a man who has the influence, the political influence of KANO. He inherited the noise of the former Abubakar Rimi, who controls the activities of politics in KANO. Now you want to tell me a Gandoje can come from the back door to take that from him? It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. All we are begging right now, we are begging our politicians to understand that you cannot take the hook and the crook together at the same time.
I wanted you to address the fact that small parties or parties that are coming up, I'm not sure the proper word to call it.
Small parties?
Mushroom
parties?
No, I don't want to. Mushroom parties makes it sound like they don't have debt. No, that's not what
of course they don't have their business angles, their business portfolios. Most political parties in Nigeria, apart from the PDP, the APC, the Labour Party, and maybe because of the Kwankwaso influence in the NNPP, the rest parties are business pockets.
Okay,
they use in settling.
You mentioned the Labour Party,
yes.
And yet our papers have been flooded with the many internal wranglings within the Labour Party.
Of course,
a party that a lot of Nigerians a lot of young people really had seen as the different one, the one that is out to send the ideology of do it right.
What is the wrangling in the Labour Party?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you because you said the Nigerian youths flooded the Labour Party, and it's an unfortunate thing now that they have wranglings.
They have
What is the major wrangling in the Labour Party? It's simple. The APAPA escapade. APAPA escapade.
We have two people.
Who is the next person?
Even
Abure is a substantial verdict. The verdict right now, the appeal court verdict right now states that they should return to status quo. What is status quo? Status quo is that Abure was Abure was national chairman of Labour, it should remain like that, and that's how it has remained.
Some people will say status quo will go further down.
No, because if a papa has been given the power to become Labour Party chairman, where will he be? He will be in the office. He will take charge of the activities, the apparatus of Labour Party. All his candidates during the primary elections in Bayelsa, in Kogi, and in Imo will be his candidate. Go check the portal of INEC. Those people who conducted elections under the influence of the Abure movement is the same people who presented the list, and INEC is having the list. Go check the website of INEC, who is the national chairman of Labour Party. It still remains Abure. We are only telling you that any wrangling you see in the Labour Party is an influence of a foreign hand.
A foreign hand?
Yes, and that foreign hand has been declared to have been seen.
Why are you guys
so
APC? Susceptible to this foreign
because we know what is going on. We've done our investigations. How can an papa be flying a private jet overnight and with bodyguard with DSS all over him? What does he carry?
Yes,
that he needs to be protected. So we are telling you that the state is the one trying to break the pillars of the Labour Party. And they cannot get it because the Labour Party is the property of the Nigerian people.
I need to ask this question.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, it's so much. It seems like every problem in Nigeria to you, the APC precipitated it, which is fine. However, have you wondered why? I mean, if you come into my family and you are able to pull somebody out to cause chaos, that family did not have a strong foundation in the first place.
That's
so
not true.
Why are these parties, the NNPP internal problems, you put it on the APC? Good. The Labour Party internal problems is still the APC that is fueling it.
That's right.
Why are these parties so susceptible to these issues, this influence?
It is not the party that has the problem. It is the individuals who think they can be used because of greed, selfishness. They are hungry. You don't expect a Labour Party member who is characterless not to collect a 50 million naira just to do
is that how much you allege was given?
It is even more than that. How much do you register to fly a private jet?
Okay.
In a day.
Now,
how much? So where did Ababa get the private jet from? These are his sponsors. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Let me give you an understanding now.
Right.
There is no way you have 12 disciples without a Judas. How many people are revolting against the Abure leadership? It's just an APAPA movement. Do you understand? He is the one that has made up himself. Even in the,
what you're saying is he does not have people sympathetic.
No, nobody is sympathizing with APAPA. That's why you are not seeing any protests against the Abure leadership. Because if APAPA has anybody supporting him from Labour Party, you will see them, they go and protest, and even protest in the Labour Party national headquarters.
I mean,
did you see any protest? Any protest you see in the Labour Party is a protest against their APAPA leadership, that we reject you, we don't want you.
Again with protest, that we know how this protest often goes.
Of course,
why is that?
Protest is a democratic norm. It's the right of the Nigerian people. It's the right of all politicians. If you don't agree to any policy of government, there's nothing wrong to stage a peaceful protest. Protest is even a profession. You are supposed to even read protest in the university so that you'll be able to protest the right way. It's our right. Now, you see me as a chief protester that the world knows. What am I protesting for? The VMCII is an organization that is protesting against bad leadership.
What I'm just saying is, I don't
disrespect for the rule of law.
I don't have to protest to show my sympathy for a certain person.
You have
that
to.
Is your measurement.
You have to, because if you don't protest, what is? Do you know that going to court is a protest?
It is.
It is a protest. It's a judicial protest. We have different kind of protest. Going to court is a protest in the first place. And if you miss the protest, and if you want it to be sweet, juicy, you can run a street protest and get more followers.
Right.
Let APAPA come out and do a street protest.
I mean, I saw
that he is the official
I saw
national chairman of Labour Party, and let's see how many people will follow him. And let Abure step out,
okay,
and let's see how many people will support him.
Before I let you go, I mean, how can we get sanity in this so that if there's the beauty about democracy is when there are different hands.
That's
mean, there's the Labour Party, there is the APC, there's the PDP, there are 18 other political parties, and it makes it interesting. I had the fun of my life watching the past elections and the campaigns. I was like a kid in a candy store. There was so much information to grapple with. So that's the beauty of democracy.
That's right.
So how can we strengthen these political parties so that we have good choices to make? It's distracting when you want to follow the Labour Party and they are in court because they are holding their two national chairmen trying
discrepancies are too much.
Too many. You want to look towards the NNPP or the national chairman has you know, it's difficult. You get dizzy trying to follow that. How can we strengthen political parties?
I think the first decision to strengthen political parties in Nigeria, you have to take it step by step. The first step is to sack the INEC chairman.
Oh my goodness, how did we get here?
The INEC chairman needs to go. The INEC chairman needs to go, except you don't want sanity in our politics, in our elections. This INEC chairman is porous. And he
How has that got to do with the political parties?
Because he controls the activities of political party.
How?
INEC approves ownership of political party.
Exactly.
When a political party has a problem and they needs to have a change of individuals in different offices, if INEC is not in consonant with that political party, the right or the wrong person will be given opportunity to be on the portal. Do you understand?
But
so it's a problem. And this particular INEC chairman is a stupendous element of this unity when it comes to the organization of elections in Nigeria over time. So why should you allow a man who is a disgruntled element of politics on an election to be the INEC chairman?
Avotu Johnson, I do not appreciate you calling an official of the government that holds such an important position in governance.
Yes.
I don't appreciate you calling him such very abusive names.
But
I would rather you be civil. So we have a proper conversation. I was really hoping that we could get into fact and not point fingers.
What I'm telling you is the fact.
In this case, it seems like you're being emotional.
No, I'm not emotional. I'm not emotional. You asked me a question.
Yes,
you said you want us to find a solution to the problems of the wranglings in our political party. And I'm telling you that the national chairman of INEC, who has the authority to register political party, is part of the problems they are facing.
In Labour Party, for instance,
not just Labour Party.
Let's. I mean, you are sympathetic to the Labour Party.
Yes,
you are an obedient. You call yourself
full obedient.
Let's get to why you think that the INEC chairman had a hand in the Abure-APAPA fight, for instance.
One of the major reasons why I think he has a hand, not I think, I know.
Right.
Because he is porous. He is open to sympathy of some individuals in and out of government. Listen, some individuals in and out of government. And as national chairman of INEC, if we have an astute individual that would be the chairman, a no-nonsense person, he obeys the law that gives him the right to operate as chairman. I've not landed. Now, that person gives authority and order, and they take the order. Nobody will cause a problem in any political party because they know that they will not be approved by INEC. But they are doing this, fighting different. They are opening fighting. They are opening new groups as fighting tools in different political parties, so that at the end of the day they will send a letter to INEC that these are the new names of people illegally and they will be accepted.
But you just also said that at the moment,
that kind of chairman, of course, because the court has not thrown Abure out.
So how
with all the fightings, Abure, look, if you check back what happened to the national chairman of a APC that brought Ahmed Bola Tinubu as a presidential candidate, where is he today? A small wrangling have taken him off. 1 or 2, 3 people removed him and they send a letter to INEC that they have removed their chairman, and this is the new name. And INEC accepted because they are the ones in power. So if you have a national chairman in INEC and says, no, this is not the law to remove a chairman, you must do blah 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 blah. But
you do know that
they just brought an appointed name of Gandhi and made him a national chairman, and INEC accepted.
For context, there was a resignation letter by the former national.
Did you check the resignation letter, whether the letter was by duress or whether there's a gun on his head?
We can, no one can win with Barry Avotu Johnson.
No.
I'm so much for coming. It's not fact.
It's facts.
And I don't want to continue misinforming
it's fact.
I don't want to
see, madam, let me tell you before you go, let Nigerians know that it is an abuse of power, an abuse of office, an abuse of our democracy if the INEC chairman is given the opportunity to conduct the last run-off elections and this staggered elections, or what's this election is called? What is it called? Off-season election.
Right.
If this chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, is the one giving the opportunity to do this election, is an abuse to democracy.
Okay.
The court cases alone is enough for him to be thrown off.
That's your opinion on the matter. You never win with Barry. You go left, he turns right. Okay. But this is where we draw the curtains on Joy Asonye Live this beautiful evening. We've had a very interesting conversation, actually. Barry Avotu Johnson, thank you so much for being part of the program.
Thank you so much for having me.
Dr. Barry Avotu Johnson is the country director of Vote Must Count International Initiative, and we've been discussing the tribunal as it sacks the NNPP's ABBA YUSUF and declared APC's candidate winner. We'll be back tomorrow to discuss more, especially about our political landscape and the trending events happening there. Have a wonderful evening. I am Joy Asonye.